house guests. Welcome to today's bbcan 9 updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day are Thomas Milligan and Chris Feltz. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. All right, so last night, Kyle was evicted by a vote of 7-1. It's a bummer, but more importantly, oh my god, it's going to be a twisted week. We've got that invisible HOH twist going. So if you guys missed it last night, basically this week's HOH is going to be making all of their moves in secret. They will get to possibly play in the power veto competition. I don't think it's a guarantee. I think it's like they can be drawn to play. They'll get to play again for the HOH next week. That's insane. Can you imagine if the same person is HOH 2 weeks in a row? I have a few people that I would love to see with that. But anyway, yeah, so the competition, they're all in their little cubicles. They've got their buzzers or their counters, and they have to count the rocks that are falling off of that conveyor belt. And I think it got up like into the hundreds towards the end. I mean, we didn't see that far, but we got some pictures later on. But the competition did not end before the show ended, of course. They don't want us to know for sure who won until Monday. The feed stayed down all night, all through the night, all through the morning. They came back just before 1 p.m. briefly. I think they were only on for like half an hour, I want to say. And when they did come on, we found out the house guests don't know who the HOH is. It's not like somebody already spilled the beans. It's not out in the open or anything like that. We do not know for sure either. There has been some speculation. I think we can maybe draw some conclusions here, but let's go through what we saw. It seemed like a lot of the house guests were thinking that it was either Ro or Victoria who won the invisible HOH. And Kiefer is really paranoid right now. He's freaking out, especially because Ty and Jed were talking to Ro for a while. So he was nervous that maybe they were doing some sort of pretty boys deal, and he wouldn't be a part of that. So he was freaking out. But let me say this. We had a camera on Victoria the whole time the feeds were on. Even when she was just straightening her hair. So is this Big Brother trying to tell us, like, Spicy V, 1 HOH? I don't know. But there are a lot of things that are pointing towards her possibly being the winner. So Tara was chatting with Victoria. And Tara's like, I'm going around giving everybody the same pitch just in case. Because, like, we don't know who the HOH is this week. But before she even gets into it, Victoria says, I would never put you up on the block, even if my life depended on it. She's going to say that to everybody. But Tara says, all right, I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus. If you think that I'm good for your game, don't put me up. So that's pretty simple. That's pretty much all she pitched. And Victoria's like, you are the best person in this house for my game. And honestly, I think part of that is true because we saw last week how Victoria, like, wound Tara up and got her to try and campaign for Kyle to stay last week, which it seems like is what Victoria wanted to do, but she didn't want to be the one, like, leading the charge. So yeah, I think she does feel that Tara's actually really good for her game. So then Tara says, I only care about you, Tina, and Kiefer in this game. They have a little, like, 4 thing going on. I gotta say, during this conversation, Victoria did not deny being the HOH. She wasn't like, oh, it's not me, it's not me. And then Victoria and Ty were chatting, and Victoria is telling him, I'm very loyal to our 4 with Jed and Beth. You know, they got a deal going. Victoria's got a deal with pretty much everybody at this point. So Victoria says, if any of you guys have it, and you put me up on the block, that would be the dumbest thing for your game. And Ty says, I don't have it, and if I did, I would not put you up on the block. So Victoria's like, I don't have it either. She says if I had it, I would put up, sorry. She says if I did have it, I would put up Ro and Austin. Would she really? I feel like this is a decoy Because if she's openly saying, if I was HOH, I would put up Roe and Austin, then if she is the HOH and she puts up other people, they're going to think, oh, well, it couldn't have been Victoria because she said she was going to put up Roe and Austin, you know? So maybe that will convince them that somebody else won. I feel like that's something to think about, right? They speculate about who could possibly have this, and Victoria seems to be pushing it off on Roe. She seems to be trying to get the attention on him. She was telling Ty, I think you and Jed need to go talk to Roe because he might be the HOH and he might put up you or Jed with Kiefer. And she's saying, you know, the cameras have been on Roe a lot. The cameras have been following him around. Look who's talking. And Ty also mentions, oh yeah, and Roe keeps getting called to the diary room. I feel like there's no way that production would actually blow it by just calling the HOH to the DR over and over again, right? Like, there's no way that they would actually do that, because that would just be so sad. But yeah, so there are people thinking, you know, maybe it is Roe. So then they were talking about how they're going to have nightmares for the rest of their lives if they go this week, and they don't even know before they leave the house who was the one targeting them. So they're really hoping that they're not going to go. So as Ty is walking away, he keeps saying, like, Victoria, I hope you have it. I hope you have it. So after he walks out, Victoria's, like, making faces in the mirror. She's like, and then she's like, what do I do? Which is really sus, and it kind of leads me to believe that she's the invisible HOH. Unless she's just playing us, too. I don't know. Out of everybody, she does seem like the type that she would try and play it up like she's the HOH, even though she's not. But I feel like that's pretty good confirmation that it's probably her, right? So then after Kiefer is chatting with Victoria, and again, he seems really worried that he could be in trouble this week. He says that he's really worried that Austin, Brayden, or Roe have the invisible HOH, because they're not very happy with him at this point. You know, he made a big move last week going after the oddballs, so he's freaking out that they could possibly have it. But Victoria says, yeah, that would not be pretty. But they don't have it. She says they don't have it, and then she looks at him, and they laugh. So does that mean that Victoria has it? Is she saying they don't have it because she has it? Like, what's going on here? Victoria keeps assuring Kiefer that they're safe. They keep laughing. Like, is she the HOH or what? I need to know, because if Victoria, Spicy V, is the HOH again, this really is, like, the best season that we've seen in so long, because you know a Victoria HOH in general is sloppy city, but an invisible Victoria HOH is just like more than I could have ever hoped for. So we'll see what happens. I'm leaning towards it being Victoria at this point, but we do not have 100% confirmation on that, so take it with a grain of salt. But the fees went down again after that, and they're probably going to be staying down until after they have nominations tonight. I mean, the official, like, bbcan Twitter said that they'll be back later tonight, so I'm assuming that'll be after nominations. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the invisible HOH does, especially if it's Victoria. I know she was telling Ty that she would put up Austin and Roe, but I don't know. I feel like this would be her chance to take a shot at those big guys, right? She's always saying she wants to make big moves and be remembered, so I feel like she'd go after Ty and Jed and put them on the block. But again, take it with a grain of salt. This is just me thinking out loud, you know? So if you guys want to check back later, I will post the nominees in the info box below. They should be having the power veto competition tomorrow. This whole week is going to be super, super interesting to watch unfold. So I'm sorry it's a short video today, but that's what happens when the feeds are down for almost the entire day. So let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. And until tomorrow, much love.